Actually, this is Nverse Villainz here doing it once again. So, actually, we're covering on that crazy topic, like words that you should not say, probably won't say, probably don't need to say. If you don't know this already, then I probably would watch this video then. Okay, so like you're saying, this is Makio. I hope I said that right. Sorry if I hacked your name. But anyway, it was one of those things like, okay, so she quits her job, right? One of those things that you just don't say. People don't want to hear it, especially your loved ones don't want to hear it. But you know what? There had to be a reason. There had to be some reason why she just said, fuck it, I'm done. So in this case, it's like, why would you leave your job? Unless if you just don't feel fulfilled. But still, even then, what job actually is fulfilling? So that's one of them, actually. I keep saying it again. That's alright. I will catch it. I will catch this. As you see, I'm working on this. I didn't actually myself in the last videos. So that's one of them things you don't say. I left my job, especially if you're with a girl or with a guy or with a girl or guy or whatever you guys do. That's what I'm saying is like just something that you just don't want to say. I left my job. Okay, so what is it when you really say those words? I left my job. You're thinking like before you say that, oh yeah, I have a good family. They're loving, they're supportive. At the same time, they'll understand this. They'll understand exactly why I think that my job sucks, and that also too that the people that I'm with are understanding. They'll help me through this. I mean, look at it. It's like, we got a great home, and I know that they'll support me through this, Now, not all of us pretty much have that type of support. Okay, so we'll say we'll give her this, right? I mean, look at her. She's young, she's figuring it all out. God, it's like what it would be. People say what it would be to be that age again. Hell no. Actually, let me tell you something. It's like when I was in my 20s, I couldn't wait to get to my 30s. But, some people just want to bask in the youth. What can I say? But, you leave comments and you let me know exactly if you guys ever left your job and what kind of reaction did you get. I can probably guarantee at least 90% of us didn't get the positive reaction we were looking for. I love this part, actually. It's like, now let's put it into words, is exactly what's going on. Now a brief privilege check. Now I don't know how many of us get one of those or how you even sign up for something like that. But a brief privilege check in my world was pretty much reality. Okay, so this is Miyoko. I think that's how we say it. Sorry. Once again with the name thing. So we turn around and it's Miyoki, right? That's just what I'm gonna call you, Miyoki. That's just what I'm gonna say. So she's a software engineer, right? And she ends up like, hey, I'm just gonna quit my job. So, I guess it really sucked for her, but how bad could it really be? You're like a software engineer, like making probably, I don't know, like $60,000-$80,000 a year, depending on who you work for. I get it. It's like you may be stressed out. I could tell you don't get out too much, but in all honesty, it's just like, software engineer. Why don't you try customer service? Why don't you get on the phones for a week? I can guarantee you when you get on the phones for a week, that week will feel like a year. Then you'll understand what stress is really about. Not knocking you. Don't get me wrong. We all have our levels of stress. And it's a killer. Like they say, worrying just kills you twice. It really does. But in this case, software engineer, in my reality, if I was to basically tell them, hey, I went ahead and I quit my job, or I just left my job. One of the words that we just don't say, I would usually get this reaction. I would get this. Yes, you see it. And this would be like a long pause, and it's just like then the room in my world starts getting smaller, and then from when you realize it, it's like that long pause, and it's like you don't know if they're going to snap or you don't know if they're going to go left or right on you, and you're just like that deer caught in the headlights. That would be my support right there, and then you would get something like this. Okay, and then you're just like, but wait, right? There's always that wait moment. You're just like, you don't really know exactly how much of an asshole my boss was, and it's like, only if you were there and you hear one of those situations. And yeah, remember, I'm not knocking it here. We all have our limits, isn't that correct? We all have our limits, but it's just the levels of support. When she calls it being privileged. It definitely has to be privileged because if you are that privileged type, then put it down in the comments. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not knocking it. It's great that you have that support, but when reality sets in, it's just like, man, not all of us do have that support. So what is real? What is not? Okay, so now this is the part where they're like, all right, I get it. It's just, I just need a little bit of time to put myself together, and that's cool. We're all there to support each other. You have to put yourself together. But how much time should it be when a person has to put themselves together? Because it's usually when things start getting a little funny, and then it's just like you start crossing into those other realms, So in all honesty, it's like, put it in the comments too. How long you actually think that a person reaches their maximum being in this situation, But then you get to that part where you start reassuring people and letting them know, hey, you got positivity, you just need some time to breathe, and that's what this whole thing of it was, is how she was putting herself together to transition. So put in the comments is exactly how long that would be. Shit, man, let me tell you something. It's like straight up. It's just like if he came home and just been like, hey, I let my job go, they'd be like, man, straight. That's just a whole new scene right there. So that's just one of those words you definitely don't want to say. So, we don't bullshit it here, at the same time. So if you're one of those guys watching this video and being like, hey, I just lost my job, man, that's like, how do I say it? Get off the YouTube channel and just go tell me. But now in my reality, this is the part where I get something like this. Now, see, this is exactly what I would be looking at this point, and then you're just like trying to find like creative ways of just reassuring the other person that, hey, look, man, it's like everything's going to be cool. I just need some time to breathe, But it's like, it's crazy because that's like a whole new level of support right there. It's just like when you see this face, you're like, wait a minute. It's like, okay, stop the press. It's like, I have a plan, and then the little countdown timer, starts going down on your forehead a little bit. Like that would be like my form of reality, and then by the time you get, you get to that point, you have the little calendar that's up there, and you're like Xing the days off, is to, because by the time you get to that last day, that you're going to snap too. So that's the whole idea. Put it in the comments. This is exactly what is the proper time to actually give yourself that transition, as well as words that might hurt you. All right, this is Nverse, Vs.Vanmichaels. Actually, until next time. All right, so the whole idea behind this, guys, is actually, when it comes to the whole thing that we're talking about today, as far as like, I left my job. Honesty is definitely where it's at. Just tell it the way it is. Who gives a shit? And, life happens, and I do admire her. I applaud her. So let's everybody give her a round of applause. And, pretty much at that time, though, I admire her for what she's doing. At the same time, she knows exactly what she wants, and she just needs to take a break. I make it funny, but, some of these words, you just have to, it's not that you can't say them, it's just you have to watch how you say them. So, we're here at the Nverse, we actually pay attention to the Nverse, and at the same time, just want to let you know, thanks for, subscribe. I want to say thank you all for watching this and actually subscribing, and I see you guys opting in and liking it and everything else, so we do appreciate that. So just, stay on the channel. This is Nverse, Vs.Vanmichaels for sure. And actually, I did say actually here. I'm not killing myself too much, but yeah, you get the idea. Alright, till next time, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. This is Nverse, Vs.Vanmichaels, Villain out.